Today, I'm going to show you how to make a modern day update to the classic American pumpkin pie. After hundreds of test bakes in America's test kitchen, they've created a pie that is velvety smooth, packed with pumpkin flavor, and the perfect fragrant spices to transport us back in time to a beloved holiday celebration. First, I'll show you how to make a foolproof all-butter dough for a single-crust pie. Then we'll make the delicious pie filling and bake it up to perfection. Are you ready? Let's get started. So the first step involves preparing the butter. We need 10 tablespoons of unsalted butter, chilled. Very important that the butter is chilled. We're going to grate 2 tablespoons on the large holes of a box grater, and we're going to place this in the freezer and get it really nice and cold. Then we'll cut the remaining 8 tablespoons of butter into half-inch cubes. So in this next step, we're going to cut 1 stick of butter, which is 8 tablespoons, into half-inch cubes. This came straight out of the refrigerator. It's not frozen, but it's quite chilled, because that's going to help it keep its shape when we cut it into the butter. So here's how I like to do it. I cut my stick into thirds lengthwise. Lay it down and cut it into thirds again. Here we go. Just like that. And then just cut it. Make beautiful little cubes out of it. Right? Just like that. Just like that. And we want to keep our butter good and cold until we're really ready with all the ingredients in place, ready to mix the dry ingredients and the butter together. Here's our butter. Let's get this party started, okay, shall we? In a large bowl, we're going to mix 3/4 cups of flour. Once 3/4 first and then to reserve a half. So, that looks about right. What do you think? A little bit more? Okay, great. We have 1 tablespoon of sugar. Have to have sugar in our pumpkin pie crust, don't we? And a half teaspoon of salt. I know bakers that have thrown away entire batches of bread because they forgot to put the salt in. We don't realize how much we rely on that for our taste buds. Then we're going to add the cubed butter and process until a homogeneous paste forms. At America's Test Kitchen, they do this in a food processor, so I'm adapting their recipe to my little home kitchen, and I don't have a food processor, so here we go. Here's our 8 tablespoons of cold butter, all nicely cubed. Let's just dump all that in there. There we go. And I'm going to start with a dough cutter, pastry cutter. Chop this up a little bit. Just work it, work it, work it. And as you can see, the butter all comes through the blades. So I just use a butter knife. Push it out. And keep cutting it into the flour. Cutting it into the flour. Just like that. Now we're going to add the rest of the flour. And here's the way we like to do it. We just move our hands through the flour, press with our thumbs into our fingers just like this. Ooh, it feels so silky and smooth. The butter is cold and it keeps its shape. And we essentially want to bring it down to pea size is what pastry baking recipes say. Now we can see the white all-purpose flour is taking on a nice yellow buttery look and feel to it. Out of the freezer, nice frozen butter grated pieces. Add the grated butter and toss until the butter pieces are separated and coated with flour. Let's just break it up a little bit. It's nice and frozen. It's easy to work with. Toss until the butter pieces are separated and coated with flour. There we go, just like that. Sprinkle 2 tablespoons of ice water over the mixture. Toss with a rubber spatula until the mixture is evenly moistened. Sprinkle 1 tablespoon, sprinkle 2 tablespoons, and give it a toss. Sprinkle the remaining 2 tablespoons of ice water over the mixture and toss to combine. Now press the dough with the spatula until the dough sticks together. I'm feeling like just another little drizzle here. You don't want it to get too wet, but you also don't want it to be too dry. Here we go. I think it's just about right. Until the dough sticks together. Looks pretty sticky to me. Transfer the dough to a sheet of plastic wrap. Draw the edges of the plastic over the dough and press firmly on sides and top to form a compact, fissure-free mass. Draw the edges of the plastic over the dough. Draw the edges of the plastic over the dough and press firmly on the sides and top to form a compact, fissure-free mass. How's that? About 5 inches? Wrap in plastic to form a 5-inch disc and refrigerate the dough for at least 2 hours or up to 2 days. Let the chilled dough sit on a counter to soften slightly about 10 minutes before rolling. All right, my friends, that's our single pie crust. This is going to make the most incredible pumpkin pie ever on the planet. Will we live up to the challenge? Yes, we will. Preheat your oven to 425 degrees and adjust your oven rack to the lowest position. Roll the dough into a 12-inch circle on the floured counter. Loosely roll the dough around the rolling pin and gently unroll it onto your 9-inch pie plate, letting the excess dough hang over the edge. Ease dough into plate by gently lifting the edge of the dough with your hand and pressing it into the plate bottom with your other hand. Wrap the dough-lined plate loosely in plastic wrap and refrigerate until the dough is firm, about 30 minutes. Now that the dough is firmed in your refrigerator, trim the overhang to 1/2 inch beyond the lip of the plate. Tuck the overhang under itself, folding the edge so it should be flush with the edge of the plate. Then, crimp the dough evenly around the edge of the plate using your fingers, and wrap the dough-lined plate loosely in plastic once again and refrigerate until the dough is firm for about 15 minutes. The next thing we need to do is to line the chilled pie shell with parchment paper, covering the edges to prevent burning, and fill it with pie weights. I like to use dry beans. It works just as well as any pie weights. Bake until the pie dough looks dry and is pale in color or about 15 minutes, rotating the plate halfway through baking. Then we'll remove the parchment and the weights and continue to bake the crust until golden brown, another 4 to 7 minutes longer. Transfer the plate to a wire rack. The crust must still be warm when the filling is added, and reduce the oven temperature to 400 degrees. While pie shell is baking, whisk the cream, milk, eggs, and yolks and vanilla together in a bowl. Bring the pumpkin puree, sweet potatoes, sugar, maple syrup, ginger, salt, cinnamon, and nutmeg to simmer in a large saucepan and cook. Stirring constantly, mashing the sweet potatoes against the sides of the pot until thick and shiny, about 15 to 20 minutes. Remove the saucepan from the heat and whisk in a cream mixture until fully incorporated. You'll want to strain the mixture through a fine mesh strainer into a bowl, using the back of a ladle or spatula to press the solids through the strainer. Then we'll whisk the mixture and pour it into the warmed, pre-baked pie crust. Whisk the mixture, then pour it into the warm, pre-baked pie crust. And there you have it. Goodness in every bake. Do please click the thumbs up like button and subscribe to my channel for lots more yummy and delicious treats for you to enjoy and share. And I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.